Hi friends, good evening all. So I've been doing great works and I want to learn a lot of things about doing this particular year. I recently listened one of the videos we have interacted with the Mdrt for the study group. Again, I want to learn about a lot of things in my profession. Recently, I received one of the articles. I read it in the paper, one of my articles in that. It's about one of the lady from one of our insurance company from Mdrt MCC. Her name is Pallavi. She did 15,000 policies in last 10 years. And she been qualified several times of Mdrt and COT. I'm impressed about that. So I'm just want to ask my friend to send a YouTube link. She was doing some kind of video promotion to our clients, educating them. So I'm going to watch it right now.
And through collaboration,
You're live now.
My name is Pallavi Chaturvedi and I am a certified financial planner. Today I want to talk to you about the importance of protection. We understand the risk of dying too soon and most of us have term insurance policies. Today I am talking about something different. Make a list of 15 families you know. Chances are at least one or two of these families will be dealing with cancer. The incidence of cancer in India is fairly high. Almost 1,300 people die of cancer every day. According to 2014 data, of the 28 lakh people that died in India, 5 lakh died of cancer. And when cancer hits a family, all the savings and all the investments go towards the treatment of cancer. We need to understand the importance of protecting ourselves against this demon. जैसे प्रीमैच्योर डेथ के अगेंस्ट हम एक टर्म इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी खरीदते हैं, वैसे ही कैंसर के अगेंस्ट हमको एक कैंसर इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी लेनी चाहिए. आपकी हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी विल इंडेमनिफाई योर हॉस्पिटल बिल्स, बट जब कैंसर होता है तो सिर्फ हॉस्पिटल बिल्स ही खर्चा नहीं होते हैं. यू हैव टू ट्रैवल टू योर हॉस्पिटल. There is a lot, you stop working, there is loss of income. There are many other expenses that come into play which will not be covered by your health insurance policy. For which a cancer insurance policy, सिर्फ अगर डॉक्टर आपको ये लिख के दे देता है कि आपको कैंसर है, वो आपको हर स्टेज के कैंसर के लिए कुछ पैसा दे देगी, जिससे कि आप अपना बेसिक इलाज करा पाएंगे. मैं कैंसर इंश्योरेंस को बहुत हाईली रेकमेंड करती हूँ. And I would suggest that every member in the family should have a cancer insurance policy. Just like every earning member has a term insurance policy, every member in the family must have a cancer insurance policy. Thank you.
Wow, wonderful listening a video about cancer care and details what she is given to her. I'm so impressed with that. So I want to connect with Pallavi, asking about how she be able to generate more prospecting into digitally, and she can able to do it through, and she also doing different kind of ideas, being connecting with more than 15,000 families. So I'm going to ask. Before asking her, I want to check about her profile. So I'm going to check her profile right now. Okay. Mdrt member sharing, network your way to your dreams. Okay, this is Pallavi's profile. Pallavi is the CEO of Wellstone Wealth Matters Private Limited and leading personal wealth management company. She has worked in the financial service professional for more than 17 years. Started her career as a life insurance professional with Max Life Insurance, and then graduate to become a complete financial consultant. Wow. And she is a certified financial planner, CFP. She also Professional Financial Advisor, PFA, certified by LIMRA, Life Underwriting Training Council Fellow, LUTCF. Okay. And this is one main I was want to looking in this. Pallavi feels proud to having helped more than 15,000 families in planning for and securing the future and financial goals. Wow. Okay, her achievements. She's qualified for 13 times MDRT with 10 COTs and 3 TOTs. She's a life member of MDRT. In Max Life Insurance Company, she's qualified for CEO Council several times and qualified for Executive Council member for several times. And she also MDRT company chair. Wow. Very impressive. So now I will ask Pallavi to, we'll connect with her and we'll discuss more on that. Hi, Pallavi.
Hi, hi, Shakti. How are you?
Fine, Pallavi. Hi, Pallavi. Happy to see you into lively meeting. And just now listen to your video and listen to your able to know about your profiling. Very impressive. And you've been with MDRT for so many years, and you've been delivering, doing COTs and TOTs, and I'm desperately happy for you. And one thing I just very admire about you've been covered more than 15,000 families, and still you're doing it. And I seen your video so professionally it was there. So I want to learn more from you. Can you able to do it? What kind of activity you generating for the prospecting?
Sure, Shakti. I would be happy to share, and thank you so much for actually, liking my video and then reaching out to me to ask more. And so I'd actually made a small presentation earlier, and I think I'll be happy to show that to you. So it'll help you understand how I work and how I make things happen. So one thing that is really important is that when you want to work with lots, will help you understand how I work and how I do things. So you see, this is the digital age, and therefore prospecting is also required to be done digitally with social distancing in the COVID era. And this is what I started to do. And for prospecting, I feel there's one very important thing that we need to understand how networks work. So, everybody, so it's only someone from my network who is going to give me a reference, right? And these are the people I'm going to prospect. Now, for that, it is very important that we understand how our networks work. Now, how the network works is really that they know you, then they start to like you, and then they start to trust you. Now, while trust may be important for them to buy from you, but for them to refer you, only like is enough. So as long as they like you, you are going to get references. You may not get references if they know you, but if they like you, so likability is mandatory to get references. Now, how do I create liability? How do I create likability is important. And also we need to direct our network or guide our network what they must like us for. There are many things about my personality, many aspects about my personality for which my network might like me, right? So the problem is that our network does not know what to like us as. Yeah. So, and here I'll give you an example. So I had a very good friend. He had been running with me for 2 years. We were running together. We used to cycle together. We were family friends. He would come over to my place. My family would go over to his place. One day he was over to our place for dinner, and he said he doesn't want to have alcohol and that, he's going to have an early dinner because he was buying a term insurance policy and he needed to go for a medical the next morning. Now, that was a huge surprise and a rude shock to me, actually, that, my best friend did not even bother to ask me about buying a term insurance policy. So I asked him, why did you not tell me? And he said, do you sell insurance? I did not know that. In fact, I don't even know what you do. And that's when I realized that now if my friend does not even know what I do, then how is he going to give me a referral even if he has one? So, then it becomes important that my network knows what I do. It becomes important. So like, when there's a doctor or a pediatrician, everybody knows he's a pediatrician. So all the children of the family will automatically go to that pediatrician. But if my network does not even know what I do, then they cannot refer me even if they want to. So the only way that I can get them to know is not that every time I meet them, I start off this conversation. One, I need to create value in my field of expertise. And this is not only very important, but it is vital that I do that. Now, how am I going to do that? I cannot, every time I meet a person, I can't start talking about my career or profession, right? So for that, there is a very easy and short way. One is creating value videos, like the one you just saw. And the other is sending out emails. Sending out, I call them value letters. And why I'm using the word value is because my intent is to create value. Now, what kind of value? So my emails and my letters and my videos will typically talk about subjects that I experienced during that week with my clients. Yeah. So here's an example of the kind of subject. So why did I say be smart, invest immediately? Is because I met somebody who was planning to postpone, who kept postponing his, decision to buy. So then I did this. I spoke about health insurance and what you really need in it. And do you really need health insurance or not? So then the markets were falling around December 2021. And I spoke about, what should you do? The markets are falling. Now you can see I got a 55% open rate on it because that was a very current subject. Typically emails have a 5 or 6% open rate. My open rate you can see is about 44 to 50%. 30-35% is an average open rate that I get. And the reason is because it is talking about subjects like these. So when I talk about subjects, and all of these emails will not sell anything. They will only create value. Now, there's a golden rule to doing this. And the golden rule is that you have to be functional and not perfect. So it is consistency is the key. You have to try and make sure that your video goes out, that your email goes out. It's not about being perfect. It's about, trying to actually create it. So that is what I do, Shakti. And this is the practice that I have been following so far.
Wow, wonderful. And the last one was very nice, the golden rule. You have to be so perfectional and not perfect, right? So that was very admiring about that. I have some few questions, being like normal. I've been so impressed you are doing with 15,000 policies, so I need to learn a lot of things from you. So the emailing one, you start sending the customers and other. How you find this idea? How it is working for you at present?
For me, it is working very well because this allows me to stay in touch with all my customers, with all my entire network in one go. I have to make this effort. Yes, every 2 times a week I make this effort, maybe 3 to 4 because I also do videos. So 2 minutes video, it takes about half an hour to shoot and edit, and the video is out. And likewise with the emails, I keep them short, they're crisp. So therefore about 30-40 minutes I have to draft. So I spend about 2 hours a week doing this, and this allows me to stay in touch and present to all my prospects, and they get my email address, they get my phone number, so they know, and they get my name. 2 times a week they're reading my name. So the next time they think of buying insurance, I am the first person they are going to reach out to.
Wonderful. And insurance advisor like me and all, I think when I send a mail, it'll go to the scam. And but the first time I'm saying that you have been so successful, you've been talking about that you'll be sending to 2 times of the mail. I'm so impressed about that. So I have to adapt the system. And do you use any specific software, or what was your content you were using it, or That could be a normal one, or you have some kind of ready prepared on topics.
So Shakti, there are many apps that I use. There are lots of ready-made tools available on the internet, and they're all free. Like there is MailChimp. So what I have done is I've created 2 accounts, because MailChimp allows you only free service for a certain number of contacts. So I've created 2-3 accounts, and those many emails go out from those accounts, and therefore I'm able to send out to my entire network. So I have lots of free accounts with MailChimp. Then so what I do is, when I want to think of a topic, I go to this thing called headline. So there is a HubSpot. There's a website. So you just go and give them a noun, and they give you a topic that you can name, the subject line, what should it be? And then you also have Institute. So Institute is a subject headline analyzer. So when you give that, it gives you an emotional marketing score for your headline. Now, what is the chance that this email will get opened? Yeah, so anything upward of a 40-50% score is a good score, and you should go ahead with it. Then there is another 2 things that I use for the content. One is Quillbot. So Quillbot is a bot which you just open, type whatever you want to type, and just say a rephrase. Yeah. So even if there are grammatical errors, if it is, if it is not very crisp or official sounding, it is going to, so the written English is different from spoken English, right? That is what I was taught in school. Now, typically, if you sit down to draft, it takes a lot of time. So what I do is, I just write in the form that I speak. I write down my spoken English and just say rephrase, and in seconds, it throws out what I should be sending to the customer or to my clients. And then I pick that up and I paste it on this thing called Hemingway app. Now this Hemingway app actually analyzes my entire content and tells me if it is hard to read or easy to read. What is the readability of my content? And it kind of tells me if you have to try and keep it easy. Because our field is so technical, we sometimes land up using some jargons which people don't understand. So therefore, it is important that, the readability should be easy. And these are some rules that I follow. But again, the golden rule is that I try and be functional and I not perfect. So I have to finish it in 1 hour. I have to finish it in 1 hour. Whatever, whatever then is ready is sent.
Perfect. And the videos you're putting, I just saw some of the videos. After this, after the conversation with you, I'll definitely in the night I'll sit and do it. So, will these videos really work for generating prospect? What was your? But one thing I'm damn sure that it definitely helping educating the customer, right? So,
yes.
Can you able to share? Is it really helping you to generate prospect?
Yeah, so what happens is, like when I had sent out this video on cancer insurance, so whoever saw the video, I got at least 15 to 20 calls within the same week asking me about cancer insurance.
Wow.
That very week I got about 20 qualified leads. So now a person has seen my video, he understands what cancer insurance is, and is then reaching out to me and asking me. So when I gave out videos on health insurance, I got a lot of queries about health insurance. Yeah, so I mean, these are qualified queries or leads that I'm getting, and this is from my, from my in network only, right? So these are all my clients that are actually reaching out to me, asking me, you have given a video on cancer insurance. What is that? Can you please explain? Do I need to buy it for my family? And then, I can engage in a conversation with them, explain to them if they need it or not. And then I've also used terms. So then they ask me, if their term is enough or if they need to review. So it does help in creating prospect.
Perfect. And even I am impressed about seeing more videos. I want to learn how to do videos again with you for this to speak content. I think this is one thing we need to adopt it in the future, right? So it's a wonderful one. And so you've been serving with more than 15,000 policies the last 10-15 years. how was your experience? Could you able to work with all the customers, satisfy their needs into your professional? How was your journey? Do you ever believe that you could be able to do 15,000 policies?
No, I did not actually. So when I started off as an insurance agent, I think we all understand that, insurance agent means you will start from your natural market. When I started off, my entire family was against the idea of me becoming an insurance agent in the first place. So the first thing I was made to promise was that you will not prospect friends and family. You will not go and tell them what you do. So it was very difficult. I started off with a zero natural market, but I started doing work sites, and that's how I got into this. So no, it wasn't easy, and I never thought I will be able to do 15,000 policies plus. But fortunately, by God's grace, I have been able to do it. And the journey, I must say, was not easy. But I think what kept me going was the cause that made me join insurance. And the reason was that I had lost someone in my family. I saw what insurance had done for their family. And that is the reason, Shakti, I had, joined insurance. And so that kept me going, and that just kind of made me want to do more. And
Great.
So as far as servicing customers is concerned, Shakti, I have actually set up my own call center. And so my clients do not call my company's call center. My clients call my call center, where my girls, so I have mostly female employees in the call center, and my girls recognize my customers by their names. So my customer is not a policy number. He is, at max, he may have to give out his PAN number, because, if there are two people of the same name, and there are so many. So I do have a lot of names that are common. So what we do is that if there is a common name, first he will give his name. If I'm not able to recognize him from his name, so he can give his either mobile number or he can give his PAN card number, and I will be able to pull out his data. Or in many instances, we use the employee ID as their key this thing, and I'm able to pull out every data. I keep record of how many times he has contacted me ever since the policy started, and what are his needs typically, so that whenever he's calling me, I will tell him that, oh, sir, you want your statement? We've already sent it out to you. Please check your email. So that's what I have done. That's my way of trying to service my customer. He does not call my company's call center. He calls my call center.
I'm surprising seeing you have a separate call center. I'm thinking of I can become one of your client because I'll get a service, right? So that's what the motivate me. And I need to adapt the systems. What you trying to do it, I'll definitely do that. And I see in your profile again, you've been done so much of learnings into Limra. You are done with the CFP, another thing. I know about Limra and other things. So will that support in your career, and how passionately you did this one actually, the education one?
So Shakti, as a child, I did not study at all. I hated studying. So, there is a quota that you have to complete in your lifetime, and that's what I think of it. So actually, I vowed to myself once I joined the profession that I'm going to spend on educating myself, because that's the only way I can give my customer the best. And, my clients deserve nothing but the best. And therefore, I promised to myself that every year I'm going to enroll for one course or the other. And every year I try and complete a certification or a course. So I did my CFP, which is Certified Financial Planner. It is actually by the Financial Planning Standards Board. And I did this at the age of 40. Oh. My trainer, my teacher used to be younger than me. Everybody in the class was younger than me. And I did this at the age of 40. I mean, it was a classroom setting. I had to give up all my weekends for almost 1 year. My family had zero presence of me over weekends, because I used to be physically attending classes. And, it was a great experience. It keeps you updated with the latest in the market. And therefore, and it's not necessary that I will, opt for a course only in financials. It could be about networking. Like, all this thing that you're seeing, I've learned from a course in networking. That's the Master Networker program that I've done. So I do some learning or the other. That's the only way I can give my customer the best.
It's value, right? It's add value in the client, right? So when
just add value. Absolutely.
Perfect. I need to do a lot of to getting more certification. I got to keep my profile more and more. This is I'm learning again. And I also see that you've been a life member with MDRT. You've done a COT 10 times, TOT 3 times, and again I see you've been now been a company chair for Max Life Insurance. So did MDRT motivates to grow? How important MDRT in your profession?
Oh, MDRT is the reason why I could actually think that I will be able to sell insurance in a worksite setting. So when I was a newbie and I had just started working, at that time, a lot of people told me insurance doesn't sell like this, Pallavi. Insurance does not sell through worksites. And at that time, I had seen a profile of a TOT member who used to do only worksites. So it was actually a TOT member, an MDRT member. I read up about him and I saw how he used to work. And that is what really, gave me this idea that I have to also work like this. I will probably be the first in India doing that work, but I want to work like that. And so way back in 2006, 5, in fact, 2004, I had read about him. From 2005, I started, following this. And ever since, every time I come to MDRT, so my aim is that I want to learn 2 things that I want to be able to implement. Throughout those 5 days, my aim is only to pick up 2 things that I will be implementing in my career. And imagine two things over the period of last 13 years. These are now 26 items that I have implemented in my career, and they are life-changing. And every time you go to MDRT, every time you listen, and even if you listen to the same speaker, there is so much that you learn from there. And any time that I'm confused, that I'm not sure what I need to do, I close my office doors. I sit down in a meeting room by myself, scroll the MDRT website, and I will find a solution for my problem. So MDRT is something that helps me. It's like my Bible or my, way that I just have to read and I'm going to get my answer to it. Shakti, I lost your voice.
Thanks, Pallavi. Actually, learn a lot of things about digital prospecting and ideas about servicing, and more importantly, that you've been to grow in your profession, you need to have a lot of things you have to desperately do about your dedication, about getting the information, about the wordings and sending it. So I'm really want to try this into my professional, and see I also be like you in the future, and I keep connecting with you and soon and learn more about you. Thank you, Pallavi, for the wonderful time you've given to me and teaching about this. And in soon, again, I want to learn a lot of things. Again, I'll connect with you.
Thank you so much, Shakti. It was lovely speaking with you and connecting with you. And we must stay in touch.
Thank you. Thank you, Pallavi. Have a wonderful